Hello, and welcome to Tavern Chat, the daily cast on the Tenkar's Tavern YouTube channel. I am Eric Tenkar. For those of you who don't know, most of you fucking do because you've seen me all the time, and you're like, I'm back for more Tenkar. So today, I thought I'd go a little bit off script. Not that I ever have a script, right? But I go a little bit off script. Um, Rich and I are going to be married 10 years in November. I know what day it is. November 5th, because I put it on all the beer glasses that we gave out as wedding gifts. And I've got like, I don't know, 3 dozen uh, waiting to be used. So I can never forget. Was smart on my part. I'm not going to be one of those husbands that forgets your wedding date. But in any case, why am I bringing this up? Because there are two things that, well, more than two, but there's two things that stand out to me that Rach has always in our years of marriage and our years of dating said that she just couldn't do. All right. One was watch Fellowship of the Ring. I think we tried starting it twice. I think she fell asleep twice before they finished the party in Hobbiton. Hey, now that being said, I might have to start a third time because I've tossed the seeds out about Babylon 5 in the past and just dropped it. And then I realized, hey, look at that. It is now on demand on HBO Max now, whatever the HBO on demand is. And I have the HBO on demand, and I was like, all right, let me uh, let me watch. And the first uh, episode, the pilot movie, uh, was filmed like a movie, and I watched it the first maybe 45 seconds. I went, yeah, I got to see if Rach wants to see this because she's enjoyed The Expanse. All right, and she enjoyed. Oh my god, I'm pulling a fucking blank. The Star Wars series with all the outside Star Wars drama that was surrounding it. Yeah, I'm sober too. The
The
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
There we go. You see, I remember because I'm about to be embarrassed by my wife telling me that she knows more about geek culture than I do. So there. So in any case, I did convince her to watch Babylon 5's pilot episode. And the pilot episode, in my opinion, is good, but it's weaker than the rest of the first season. And the first season is weaker than seasons 2 through 4. And she finished that double length episode, the pilot, the made for TV movie, and was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And now we are, I believe, 12 episodes in. This started on, I guess, Friday. Now we're on Monday. We got to watch more episodes tonight. So why am I bringing this up? Besides the fact that Babylon 5 is an excellent show, and if you have HBO, you should watch it. Okay, at least watch the first 4 seasons. I think fifth season is optional. It's not bad, but it doesn't have the drive behind it. Doesn't have that literally world-changing story plot going with it. But why do I bring this up? Because Babylon 5 is an example of how one could, I'm not saying you should, but how one could run a successful campaign, be it fantasy, be it science fiction. And the reason why I'm saying this is, and when I say a successful campaign where you allow characters to drop in and out. Why? Well, maybe pretty much um, the commander is an important character in every episode, right? And security chief Garibaldi is an important character in pretty much every episode. But others come and go, right? But they all drive the stories, and often there's a secondary plot going on, and that's just good TV, all right. Sometimes even a tertiary plot, and then you're like, wow. But what is one of the failures that we generally have when we run campaigns, especially as adults? When we were teens or in college, you didn't miss a game session, right? You could be coughing up a lung. You could have just broken your arm the day before. New cast and everything. You're there, right? You don't care. You're not missing. Now, same players are in their 40s, their 50s. Some of us in our 60s. Um, knock on knock on wood. I've got another 6 years. I should get to it. Um, but family commitments, work commitments, all this stuff comes up. So Joe the lawyer is starting up a campaign to be a Bronze Age uh, OSR campaign. He's doing his own rule set. It's going to feel familiar or not familiar, but in any case. And he's put together a group of about 7 players because Joe wants to game weekly. At the same time, he realizes that you need generally 3 to 4 players to show up to have a good game session, right? Hard to run with 2. 3 is a little difficult. 4 is where you gel, right? So you need 7. You need 6 or 7. Now, if you have all 7, great. You got a great fucking full group. But if you just focus on 3 or 4, then you get to focus on them. And you don't necessarily feel like you're missing anything if you plan it right, if you run it right. And I'm watching these episodes, and like I said, we're halfway through the first season, and it's not like characters that have left the series, and some to come back later, but then like characters that have left the series are forgotten. Oh, the original doctor that healed Kosh in the premiere movie. Well, he's off the series, but he's referred to multiple times, right? He isn't a forgotten character. He's actually an important character. It has to be off screen now, right? Sometimes the ambassadors are off screen, but they get mentioned. So I think that it's important, even in your campaigns, to keep that continuity. Players join the group, players leave the group, right? Maybe somebody moves. Maybe somebody's work hours get changed, and they're not gonna be able to come back for 6-7 months. We don't just write them off, right? You remember that they were there. You can mention them. They can still be part of the background story, and they can return to be the story later on. Somebody leaves, somebody comes in. I'm just really enjoying Babylon 5 again, and some of these little plots that go on. I'm like, wow, these scenes they're playing out like a game session, and I could see uh, a traveler game run on a space station playing out a bit like this, and it warms my heart. It's a lot of fun, um, and even though I've seen this, I watched it when it was first on TV, and then I watched it when I bought all the DVDs. And then a few years after that, I watched it again with my son when he was 16, 15, 16. We binged it. It was a great bonding experience. He didn't think you'd like it. And all of a sudden, he was like, let's watch 6 episodes tonight before you go to sleep and go to work. Jeez. And now I'm watching it again. About a dozen years later. And I remember certain episodes. I remember how they play out, but not 100%. Which is something to remember, too, as a player, right? Sometimes your DM will pull out an adventure and shit. They just pulled out, I don't know, Treasure Hunt N1, right? And think, oh, I played this. But maybe you played it 30 years ago. You know what? Allow yourself to forget. Allow yourself to forget and see it through new eyes and let it play out new. And maybe it will play out new. But don't get caught up in going, oh, I need to remember how this is. No. Just enjoy how it is now. Don't drag your brain back to try to figure out how this played out the first time you played it or the first time that you watched it. Allow yourself to suspend that disbelief, kind of, you know. Enjoy the ride for what it is. So I just, again, distraction, just a little side thought. Folks, we are still in the midst of the world of COVID. Gen Con has changed their policy now to be masked next month. I don't know what's going to go on. If there's going to be changes for ShireCon in September up in Connecticut. Is there going to be changes for Gamehole in Madison in October? I've been asked questions by people about both. I don't have any inside information, no inside track. I can guarantee you that the people that are organizing these conventions, your safety is paramount. If the local health agency instills new regulations, they're going to follow it. Really, there's no other option. They're not doing it to piss you off or to make you miserable. They're doing it with the idea of keeping you safe. You might disagree with the methods, but that is the reason why they're doing it. Folks, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. Unless you're Tim Shorts, in which case Tim's going to fuck us up with a bunch of ones in Joe's campaign. Actually, Joe's campaign kicks off next Monday. I guess I'll have to do an earlier episode next Monday because I'll probably be in game at this point. And knock on wood, I will be back again with you all tomorrow. Don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll talk about something fun. All right, laters.